What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right, I wanted to wait a full week until doing this kind of analysis or just taking a peek at some of the new data and metrics that we was planning to track. But 4 days in, I guess 4.5 days, but we got 4 days of data worth already is showing a dramatic impact in the amount of battles and in the amount of active accounts or daily active accounts. So you can see here, it's the drop off in battles wasn't as significant as I was expecting. And I do wonder if that's because maybe there's a bunch of bots that are still running, even if they are not yet optimized to the new system. So you can see here the changes were made on 5/31, right? And then literally the day after is when we got that crazy shock into the system where we dropped from 5.3 million battles per day down to 3.9, which is a 25% drop overnight. Now, you can see that even though that drop is significant, we have been dropping from where things were at all the way back in mid-May. And so that was probably in anticipation for this, because if we look at the last 6 months, for example, you can now start to see that there was a lot of let's just put it this way, fear if you were a bot or a bot owner in terms of what this would do. So whether that was taking them offline to prepare for whatever the new reality would be, or just taking them offline, period, the number of battles was definitely decreasing. The other thing to keep in mind is the fact that there's probably been burnout over the last 6 months. People just got tired. Updates were taking too long. So the decline that was happening probably was, at least in small part, that was probably a small part in terms of the contribution to the decline overall. Now, I would say that once the ranked rewards were discussed, and once we kind of knew when we were going to get it, you can see here that there was kind of this spike. So, again, I'm just looking at these charts and trying to come up with some kind of rationale. Now, when we look at the daily active accounts, 5/31, so here's the day, we had 348,000 active players, and you can see literally in the following 2 days afterwards, we dropped more than halfway to 142,000. Now, we've already jumped back up to 175,000. So again, I don't think that the bots are gone, and I'm not trying to say that the bots should leave. I'm just saying that there is probably going to be a little bit of wonkiness over, the next couple of weeks, maybe seasons, is probably the best way to look at that. But you can see the drop off was absolutely significant in terms of the average we've had over the past 6 months. I mean, this goes all the way back to early December. And again, we were averaging probably at, or maybe even above, 400,000 daily active users for certain periods of time. Now, are we going to jump back down to this? Is this the new reality? Is this the new, the actual number of players? And I would say no. I'm going to take something that Godzilla mentioned on a recent live stream, which I loved. And he said, "We are the bots now." Now, I'm not sure if Godzilla's doing this, but I know many players are, including myself. I have actively gotten my alt account back into the mix, and I am farming rewards in bronze. So Godzilla said on stream, and I couldn't stop laughing, "We are the new bots." So many players, many folks are playing in bronze, literally just either delegating some cards or just putting whatever extra they have from their main deck, or delegating their full decks out if they want to rest their ECR, and farming these crazy rewards in bronze because it's so easy to earn in bronze. And granted, the chests obviously aren't as good as the higher up leagues, but when you can get a ton of them, it feels good. And so with that being the case, I do think that, if we look at this 142,000, 175,000, I I would say that in this number, there's probably still one, a significant number of bots, and two, we have to start accounting for some of the alt accounts that people have. Because as I pointed out in a recent video, I spent a minimal amount on rentals and immediately came out with a day one ROI on it of like 2x, 3x, including the focus chest as well as season rewards. So even for somebody like me now, where all I'm thinking about is, okay, well, if I can take an account from 0 to, bronze 1 very easily and on a very limited budget, then should I be setting up all these alternate accounts and playing them and just grinding on them and essentially getting, I don't know, 30, 40 chests, right? Like that's the question now that I'm sure I'm not the only one asking myself. Now, the truth of the matter is, do I have the time to do this? No, probably not. But there are many folks out there who have a better strategy, a different way. They're getting something and earning something from this game that is potentially valuable for them and maybe paying for like certain expenses. So the investment could be worth it because the time needed to, at least the time needed would already be part of like what they're doing, right? If they can do like multiple battles and have separate different accounts. So there's going to be an interesting dynamic or shift that will that I think we're already starting to see when it comes to how people are interacting with the game. But this idea of like, okay, now all of a sudden alt accounts are super hot, especially alt accounts playing in bronze, that could make things really interesting. But I'm not worried about it in the same way that that I was worried about bots, because at the end of the day, there are a limited amount of cards. And yes, the delegation thing is probably something that many people are going to continue complaining about. And I do expect it to be addressed in one way or another. I mean, I don't think we're going to get like full season cooldowns, or I think it used to be like 7-day cooldowns before, for guildmates, for example, right? There's a lot of coordination, a lot of help that happens within guilds. And I know that doesn't just happen in our guild. I think it happens all across the board, especially with the different brawls and frays. And so the idea of like wanting to help out and then not having access to that card for a week is a little much, right? That's a little that's a little long. Now, is one day too short? Sure, that argument can definitely be made, and maybe we go to like a 2-day cooldown period rather than a 1-day or a 7-day. I don't know what the answer is. I'm sure the team is looking into this, and I know they're taking in a lot of the feedback that they've gotten so far from the community. But overall, I think that this is having the intended effect. Keep in mind, guys, this is, we knew to a certain extent this was going to happen. We didn't know how significant the drop off would be. But I want to take a moment here to defend the team, because they knew, especially with the bot problem, especially with the crazy amount or influx of players and interest and money that came into the game, a lot of that being these bot farms, they knew that this was going to hurt their metrics. They had to know. I mean, we were guessing it, right? When the rewards went live, the new rewards went live, nobody expected these numbers to go up. Everybody expected them to go down. So the team made the right change. They made the right call. Now, granted, is it perfect? No, not yet, but they're working through it, and I trust that they're going to continue to tweak it over time. But this is the type of hit that they're taking from a vanity standpoint, right? And maybe even a marketing standpoint when you think about it, to reduce the amount of daily active users, because the incentive to exploit the system is no longer there. So sure, there's a give and take. You win, you lose a little bit on that. But overall, I want to commend the team for really thinking this through, this rewards update. And as you can see, just from the massive change here, player behavior has already shifted, and it's going to continue to evolve over time. But as it currently stands, what's been interesting for me is that I didn't feel it was worth it for me to have an alternate account. Now I do, one, because I enjoy playing, and two, I get better rewards at bronze, and I don't have to have a bot set up to farm those rewards. I can go through, play because I enjoy the game, so I'm getting something out of it. I'm getting enjoyment, passing of time, paying for my entertainment, right? And then I get to open, usually dozens of chests. It's been so far in my bronze grind, and it's the same for many others as well. So I think that this was the right move. We'll see what ends up happening. I do think, though, as Godzilla said, I'm gonna echo him here. I do think we're the new bots, though. We are the new bots that are just grinding at this game in our main accounts, and then probably setting up some alt accounts. I mean, I have 2 alt accounts. And I am now at a point where I'm just like, okay, I've burned ECR on the first one. I burned ECR on the second one. Maybe I should just play on the third one in bronze too. I haven't touched these accounts since I first started. They were meant to be scholar accounts. And then it just, the game just kind of took a turn for the last 5 months or whatever, that it just didn't make sense anymore, especially playing at the lower levels. And I didn't even have maxed out cards for myself, let alone to be trying to max out like bronze or silver level decks, right? So now that bronze is more viable, the new player experience is much better. I think that we're the new bots. So that's all I have for you in this video. I am curious though. This is my little homework for you. Takeaway: if you are running an alt account, 1, please do let me know, and 2, let me know if that alt account is in bronze or if it's in a different league. This is just for my own, personal research. I'm just trying to get a feel for where the community is at, what your thoughts on this are. And also, I guess, if you don't have an alt account, are you now considering setting one up? Not because of my video, well, maybe because of my video, but not because I'm saying that you should, but you're seeing the incentive now to set up an alt account to continue playing and to, spread the wealth, I guess, across and play this game even more. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Have an amazing rest of your day. Take care.